Hey, this brother teacher again. I apologize. I left out in the first video what happened. What happened with mankind was this. First of all, let's back up a little bit. God, the creator, had angels, and he had one particular angel by the name of Lucifer. Lucifer wanted to be equal to God, and so he persuaded one third of the angels to try to take over God's throne, the creator. So a battle ensued in heaven. And because you can't take over the person's throne or the creator's throne, especially since he created you, but he thought he could. Anyway, kind of sort of like your child trying to test themselves when they get tall enough and old enough in your home and don't want to follow your rules anymore. Such is the case with Lucifer at the time. So he tried to impose himself upon the very one that was responsible for creating him. And he persuaded, as I said, a third of the angels to side with them because they had the freedom of choice. They can make a choice, even though they were perfect beings in every aspect. As far as a celestial or angelic being, they still had a mind of their own. So Lucifer persuaded the third of the angels, and then there was a battle in heaven. And so, of course, he lost the battle and he was cast to the earth. And he lost his position and his place with God. So now, since he was cast down here on the earth was in turmoil. So when you go to the book of Genesis and you see the earth was without form and void, that's the result of the battle. That's the thing that you don't know. But anyway, so what happened when God decided to create man? And mind you, in the book of Genesis, that people had lived here before Adam. Just understand that. So that's something that you have to do some research on yourself. And I don't have the time right now in this particular video to visit that. But just understand that there were people who lived here on the earth before Adam did. So let's taking it back to the book of Genesis. So since Satan has lost his place in heaven, along with the third of the angels, the Almighty wanted to replace him. That's why he created man. His plan was to create Adam and replenish the earth. And since the angels were originally perfect, he couldn't make perfect beings again because you might have the same situation again, them trying to rise against you. So he created something lesser than an angel in the form of flesh and blood. Now, the difference in the two is this: angels are immortal, human beings can die. But Adam had the potential to live forever. So if you notice in the book of Genesis, the Almighty set down the rules to him. He said, these are the trees that you can eat of in the garden, and this is the tree that you're not supposed to touch. And Adam conveyed this to his wife, Eve. Okay, so we all know the story. She was beguiled by the serpent, which was actually Lucifer or Satan talking through the serpent. And he convinced her to disobey God. And then she, in turn, got her husband, Adam, to disobey God as well. So that is where the curse came from. See, when he disobeyed the creator, after the creator or God said, don't eat of the tree that I'm telling you not to eat of, he did it anyway. He told him also the conditions. He said, in the day that you eat of the tree, you shall surely die. He didn't mean just Adam per se. He meant humanity is going to die. So, of course, Adam is going to die, the physical flesh and blood from the ground. Adam is going to die. But since Adam was the first man at that period in time, Adam was actually the marker, the poster child, so to speak, for every subsequent human being after him. So the curse passed on to all humanity just because of Adam's disobedience to God. So what does that mean in simple terms? That is why we all die today. That is where death came from. That is why I'm going to die one day, and all of you that are watching this video are going to die one day, and loved ones and friends that we've all known have already passed away, and children pass away because of the curse of Adam's disobedience. It's that simple. So we shortened our years through our disobedience. And of course, you can read the flood of Noah, when the Almighty spared him and his children, and he killed everybody else because of the sin on the planet, on the earth. And of course, you've heard of Sodom and Gomorrah. He told Lot to get out of the town or the city of Sodom and Gomorrah because he was going to destroy it, because homosexuality and things like this. But he has also given us promises, and way on down the line through David and all the way up until the present time, we have an advocate with the Father, as the scripture says, and that's his son Jesus, or Yeshua. That is why Jesus came, was that we can all come to the Creator on our own as individuals. We can pray to him ourselves as individuals, and we no longer need the high priest or the Levitical priesthood anymore, as was back in those days. So I didn't mean to really rant on about that, but for the most part, my point was this. The reason that we have human beings that are living, excuse me for fumbling right now, but I was thinking of another thought. The reason we have human beings that die a shorter life span now is because of the sin in the Garden of Adam. But if men or Adam had not sinned against God, Adam would still be living, and every generation after him would still be living as flesh and blood. It's just that simple. It seems complex with some people, because we don't believe in what we consider hocus pocus, or a fable, but it's not a fable. This actually did indeed happen. Now, if you think, those that may peradventure be watching this video, if you think that this is a falsehood, or if you think that it's poppycock, as they say in England, if you think that it's something that doesn't make sense to you, then how much sense does it make if you die tomorrow that you can't wake back up? So are you saying that the miracle of birth that brought you into this world was such that you had an opportunity throughout your lifetime to enjoy the things on this earth? Of course we have suffering as well, but when you die, there's nothing else after that? That would really, really be foolish to think that we came here for nothing, and we should all really be saddened. That was basically it. This is part 2 to that video, and I thank you for your time and your attention, and I hope that you read between the lines when you have to, and do your own due diligence and study, that you might show yourself approved. Again, this is Brother Teacher. See you later.